What's up, everybody? Whiskey Society, episode 9. We are tasting a Japanese whiskey versus a Scotch whiskey today, and I think they're pretty darn similar. The price and availability is certainly very different. One of my overall favorite brands, one of my overall favorite distilleries in Balvenie. This is really this Scotch, the Balvenie Doublewood 12, is really what propelled me into Scotch. I had very few Scotches before. Some of them peated, some of them not. It just really wasn't hitting my palate great. And then I discovered Balvenie and the Speyside region of Scotland, and it really got me into a whole different realm of Scotches, and now I really enjoy them. So one of my go-to Scotches here in the Balvenie 12 Doublewood, readily available, and we're going to compare it to Yamazaki 12 Japanese single malt, not readily available, much more expensive, especially on the secondary market. I think they have some pretty similar flavor profiles here, and they're both very good, but I'll give them a quick taste and give them some notes, and we'll see how they compare. Episode 9, the Japanese Yamazaki 12 versus Scotch Balvenie 12-year Doublewood. Starts imminently, right now.
Uncorked bottle straight to the face. Whiskey flood in my teeth, can I get a taste? Separate the flavor clean, no chase. Barrel strength in my veins, never read.
Now, both of these, on the nose, I can just tell you right off the bat, they're going to be very similar. The proof is right at the same, 86, like I said, 12 years. Very present honey characteristics, some grass notes or hay notes. Aging is very similar. I would imagine this is an oak, that being the Yamazaki. The Doublewood for the Balvenie comes from ex-bourbon, and then also a few months in a ex-sherry cask, so that's where the term Doublewood comes from. That gives it a little bit different character, but really similar on the nose. Like I said, honey, grass, some fruit, in general fruit. I'll break that down a little bit more on the palate, but pretty heavy hitters here. Balvenie has a wide range of great stuff. I love most of it. One of my go-tos here in the Doublewood, widely available on the shelf anywhere. The bars are going to have it, the restaurants are going to have it. This is a introductory Scotch, I guess. I'm not sure it's doing enough justice. I think it's really nice. It's got some nice complexity to it. But if you're one of those out there that doesn't like Scotch because it's smoky and peaty and it just doesn't taste good, well, this is going to be a great one to elevate that conversation. Meaning, maybe not all Scotches taste like that, because this one is really nice, honeyed, fruited, and so forth. The Yamazaki, much harder to find, much more limited. The retail price is $110, and on the secondary markets, it's double, triple that. And their namesake, Suntory Yamazaki, comes with a lot of pride. There's a lot of great things to say about it. The Yamazaki Ep9, which I've done a video on, is probably one of the best whiskeys out there, especially if you like that, Scotch flavor. I realize it's not Scotch Japanese, but it's very similar. The 12, I don't think is as refined as the 18. The 18 brings with it some floral notes, some buttery notes that I don't think the 12 years quite bringing. But the Yamazaki 18 is really hard to beat. If you get a chance to taste the 12, I think it's a great alternative. However, like I said, availability is really tough. If you want to get a lot of the same characteristics and don't want to have to go hunt for it, $65 here at the Balvenie, so it's not cheap, but being imported, it's going to raise the price a little bit. It's also very nice, brings a lot of the same characteristics as the Yamazaki 12 does, and I think it is the best alternative bottle to the Yamazaki 12, and in my opinion, maybe even a little bit better, to be honest. Okay, so Yamazaki 12 first. Honey right off the bat. I mean, it's very nice balance, but that honey sweetness is there. The grass or hay that I mentioned, a little bit of melon, a little bit of oak, a little medium pepper. Really good. Nothing overly complex here. It's a nice sipper. A little bit probably overpriced in my opinion, but really balanced, really tasty, but pretty traditional honeyed. I know it's not a Scotch, but Scotch type flavors in this single malt Japanese. Okay. Got the Balvenie 12 Doublewood here. Honey, again, you get a little bit of that sherry, a little bit of that dark fruit. Obviously, it's been a couple months, I think it said, in ex-sherry cask to finish off the aging. You get the honey, definitely. That grass note is there, that earth note is there. You can definitely get a little bit of that dark fruit from the sherry. A little bit of like a lemon zest, a citrus zest. Some tropical fruits here as it's starting to, go down the throat and I'm chewing on it. A little oak, a little pepper, not nearly. I would say the oak and the pepper's not as present. I would say this is medium oak, medium pepper in the Yamazaki 12 and the Balvenie. Doublewood 12 has more light oak, light pepper, but the notes are really similar. Honestly, that cherry piece that's bringing in a little bit more dark fruit, slight dark fruit, and that fruit being maybe more tropical here versus melony over here on the Yamazaki. That's really the big differences. Otherwise, they're very, very similar. A little bit less heat, in my opinion, on the Doublewood. I don't want to give the impression that they're hot. They're certainly not hot. Like I said, 86 proof, and they're well balanced. But just a little bit less pepper on the back end on the Balvenie 12 Doublewood. I like them both quite a bit. I think I like the Balvenie just a little bit better, and the fact that it's almost half the price, certainly half the price or less when you're talking about secondary market. There isn't a secondary market for the Balvenie 12 Doublewood because it's readily available. You can easily pay $200-300 for the Yamazaki 12, and at that point, I think that's just crazy. If you did a blind tasting, I think a lot of people are going to pick this. I don't need to. I trust Balvenie. It's a great product. So I usually, any new expression, I usually at least try to taste it. Certainly pick up most bottles because I like it. But for this, in availability, price, and taste, Balvenie 12 Doublewood wins for me. Take care out there. Work hard, whisk easy. Always share your whiskey. Cheers.